Morning.
So just a very quick housekeeping. So just rename yourselves to full name dash company first. So we will spend the first few minutes while everyone renames themselves so that we can route you accordingly later before we begin the official welcome and introduction. So we're now live on YouTube. Anyone that has shared the YouTube link can view on the live stream. So if you haven't known the YouTube link, you can, I think Clarissa or Jerry, you can punch it into the chat and we can all share it with our colleagues or friends.
So how do we share the link?
It's bit.ly/APAC OPE2.
Okay.
I think like I can just put it quickly into the chat. There you go. So
Thank you.
yeah, welcome everyone. This is our second online pitch event for MedTech Innovator Asia Pacific. So today our themes would be ENT, Dentistry, Orthopaedics, Dermatology, and Sleep. Today online here we have our MedTech Innovator team. I'm Sakina, the Program Director for Asia Pacific, and we have Paul Grant, Frederick, Jerry, and Clarissa. So I'll introduce them shortly. So Jerry will be responsible for basically routing you guys into the breakout rooms later. So Jerry, you want to say hi?
Hi everyone, how's it going? I'm Jerry from the MedTech Innovator US team. I am here to help you make sure you're on all the right places today. So if you have any problems, just shoot me a message.
Yeah. So he's the flight controller for today. And we have Clarissa. Clarissa, you want to say a few words?
Hi, I'm Clarissa here. So I'll be in the break room, so you guys will see me when you are in the break room.
Yeah. And then we have Frederick. Frederick, maybe you can say a few words, introduce yourselves, and then I'll pass it over to you to hand it over to Paul and take it away for today.
Hi, morning everyone. Frederick here. Do you want me to do my short statement now, Sakina, or?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, let me do that. Okay. Do you want me to introduce Paul as well? Let me do that as well. Yeah. So very warm welcome, everyone. Good morning and good evening to those of you who are based in the US. My name is Frederick Nyberg. I'm the Managing Director at MedTech Innovator Asia Pacific, based here at our Singapore office with Sakina and Clarissa. Welcome to our second online pitch event. In a moment, Paul will tell you more about what's going to happen today. I just wanted to remind everyone very quickly that we're now hosting these pitch events every 2 weeks, and that our next pitch event will be on the 24th of March. It will be focused on chronic disease management, renal care, cardiology, urology, and OBGYN, so don't miss that. Let me also very quickly welcome all of our non-sponsoring judges that are joining us today. We have I think we have as many as 32 judges today. About half of those are investors and senior executives who are judging Asia Pacific, our Asia Pacific program for the first time. Great to have you with us. So with that, I will hand over to MedTech Innovator CEO, Paul Grant.
Frederick. Hi, everyone. So let's go ahead and stop the sharing here. So nice to see everybody. It is very wonderful to be here for another one of our MedTech Innovator Asia Pacific pitch events. For those of you who've never been here before, this is a little different than anything else that you've probably participated in. A lot of pitch events are ones where you sit back, if you're a judge, and you just kind of watch the pitches and check your email and maybe see a couple things that are interesting to you, and then then you're done. This is nothing like that. This event is much more like a partnering event. We have pre-surveyed all of the judges who are going to be here today, and we've set up meetings for them to spend time with the companies that they are most interested in. So you're going to have a chance, if you're one of our startups presenting today, to meet with people who are very specifically interested in talking with you. And vice versa, for our judges who are participating today, you're going to have an opportunity to meet with just the companies that are most interesting to you. So we've optimized for that. I'm going to tell you more about that now, and I'll tell you a little bit about MedTech Innovator and kind of what you might expect from MedTech Innovator as a program. And that's something that, again, is something that I think you're going to see pretty unique. So what you're looking at here on the screen is the graduating class of MedTech Innovator from 2019. I'm showing the picture from 2019 because that was the last time we were on a real stage. We're very much looking forward to being back on a stage again sometime soon. But for now, we're on the virtual stage, and that's going just well for us. But what you're looking at here are the happy graduates of MedTech Innovator 2019. We also had 20 terrific companies last year in our Asia Pacific program. MedTech Innovator is a nonprofit. We are focused on finding the best technology in the world, the best startups in the world, and making sure that they connect with an ecosystem that can help them succeed in reaching patients and with the maximum value. That's what we're all about. Some quick statistics on MedTech Innovator that might be helpful for you. So we have now 340 alumni in all of our different cohorts over the last, 8 years. This is our 9th year in operation. So all of these companies are ones that are high performing. They've gone on to raise over $2.3 billion in follow-on funding, and they raised over $600 million in funding in 2020 alone. That makes us the busiest accelerator in the world in terms of raising capital. But more than just being the busiest accelerator in terms of raising capital, we're also the largest accelerator in the entire world at this point. So you have access to all sorts of incredible people from all across the globe. What I'm showing you here on the screen now are the locations of our MedTech Innovator alumni in the Asia Pacific from the last 2 years. And as you can see, they cover not only Asia Pacific, but we actually have a couple companies from the US as well, and Europe. But we have companies that have been with us from China, from South Korea, Japan, Taiwan, Hong Kong, Malaysia, Australia, Singapore, India, and many more that have applied that we have invited to pitch events like the one we have here today. But if you're accepted into our program, these are some of the people that will be your colleagues. But also, as I mentioned, you're going to have access to all the colleagues from across our US programs as well. Now, what's important, I think, for everyone to have a quick glimpse at is how we're evaluating companies. And it's really in 3 categories. If you look here on the screen, you'll see 3 different buckets: value, execution, and momentum. And without going into all of the detail, what I'll point out today is that we're looking for companies that are checking all of these boxes. We're looking for companies that offer great value to the ecosystem and to patients. We're looking for companies that have strong execution, that have solid teams, at least even if they're early teams, they're teams that are able to execute on the current milestones, and they have the resources to execute, whether it's a little bit of money or a lot of money. At the end of the day, you have to have some fund in most cases to operate. Next is momentum. We want to make sure that you're executing on milestones and that you understand the milestones that are coming up. So you don't have to be on the market. You don't have to be generating revenue to be exciting to us. We just want to see that there's momentum and there's evidence of momentum. If you were selected to pitch today, it's likely that you check most of these boxes. I'm going to give you a little bit of a sense of kind of where we are. We had over 500 companies apply to be part of our program in the Asia Pacific this year. We've invited 60 of them to pitch at events just like the one today. And we're going to choose 20 of those companies to be part of our accelerator program. From those companies, they will all have a chance to be mentored by our corporate partners. I'll tell you more about that in a moment. And from the end of the program, as we get into the tail of the program, we will have a series of companies selected for our finals competition. This will be held in partnership with APAC Med, which is an organization that basically involves all the leaders across the medtech ecosystem in the Asia Pacific, and they bring them together for an annual meeting. You'll be competing on their stage, virtual or in person, for the grand prize. The grand prize this year will be $150,000 US for our first place winner, as well as additional prizes for all of the companies that make it to the finals. We'll also have some additional awards as well. Now, in terms of the program, we're already past our applications, but we are now in our pitch event cycle. This is going to run from now through May. So if you're pitching here today, that means that you are part of our road tour. You're going to hear from us after today at some point, but it may be in 2 weeks, it might be in a month, it might be in May. The It just depends on where we get to in terms of our cycle. So if you don't hear from us, don't stress out. You will hear from us with your feedback from today. But if you don't hear from us about selection, and it's May, it doesn't mean we haven't selected you. It just means that you haven't gotten to selection yet. At the end of May, we will announce all the companies chosen for our program. Then we'll move on to our mentorship program, which is a corporate mentorship program. We'll be working with some of the strategics that are part of our program. I'll tell you about them in a moment. At the end of that process, that's when we'll get to the finals at the Asia Pacific MedTech Forum, which will be in Singapore if we do that in person. Now, I mentioned that we're on the road tour here. So these are the events that are on our tour. You're on the second stop on the tour, the second one over that you see here. They're thematic this year. In past years, they've been regional, but this year they're thematic in nature. So this is where we're going to be stopping upcoming. If you're one of our judges and you're interested in judging at one of our future events and you haven't yet signed up, you can look at some of the themes here to see some of the topics. In fact, there's even more detail behind these as well. Some of like the main categories that we've tried to lump companies into. And the important thing is that it's more than one category because each judge can only meet with 4 of the companies during the event. So we might have 4 companies, for example, in chronic disease management, 4 in renal, and 4 in OB-GYN on the next event. So if you're one of the judges and you're interested in chronic disease, you're just going to see the 4 companies that are in that category and so on. Now, I mentioned our partners a number of times. These are the companies who not only support us with their funding, which they do, but also more importantly, these companies are here in person at these events. They're mentoring our startups in most cases, with only a couple exceptions. And most importantly, these are the people that are going to be your partners in many ways. These might be your short-term partners in terms of a mentorship. They might be your long-term partner in terms of an acquisition, going to market. Whatever it might be, these are people you're going to have a chance to work with closely. They're not just going to come at the demo day at the end of the program for the finals. They're here during the entire program. They're here today to talk to you and get to know you. So let's learn a little bit about who our judges are going to be here today. So what you see here on the screen is a list of our judges. A lot of them are from our corporate partners, so companies like Align Technology that I mentioned a moment ago, or Johnson & Johnson, or Olympus, Oliver Healthcare Packaging, and so on. I'm going to go through all these in a moment. These are people who are representatives from these companies. They're going to be in the private breakout rooms that are going to be coming up shortly after the companies do their 1-minute pitches. You're going to have a chance, if you've been pre-scheduled, to meet with some of these people. There is a bio book that is associated with this event that has been distributed. This is something that you can find. We'll put it in the chat as well, so you have access to it. But these are all the people who you see here who are listed as judges. Their contact information, and in many cases, their LinkedIn link is in the bio book. So you don't have to ask the judges for contact information. It will be in the bio book, including all of their background and their profiles. Also, the same thing will happen with our startups. You'll be able to read about the different startups that are participating in this event. So again, I mentioned some of our partners a moment ago. You also see Siemens Healthineers, so you'll have a chance perhaps to meet with Dan Liu from Siemens Healthineers today. You'll also see Oliver Healthcare Packaging. Alden Velik will be here representing, so you might have a chance to meet with Oliver Healthcare Packaging. I'll introduce some of these people during the breaks as well coming up. And I mentioned some of our partners earlier. One of our newest partners is Cambridge Consultants. You have an opportunity perhaps to meet with them. Now, as I mentioned earlier, all of our judges have been pre-scheduled to meet with certain startups, but they want to see all the companies. And that's what this next little bit is about. This is our lightning round. So in this period, we're going to have each of the 10 companies give a 1-minute pitch. This is an opportunity for you to just learn a little bit about them, not a ton, just a little bit, just enough. And then you'll get into more detail if you're going to be meeting with them in one of the breakouts. Otherwise, if you're interested in these companies, you can find their contact information in our bio book. As you see up here in the corner, if you happen to have a phone handy and you want to connect with us on our social media, we would love for you to pitch, to tweet or to post about us wherever you want to. We're even on Clubhouse now. If you're not on Clubhouse, you can look for the MedTech Innovator Club on Clubhouse. If you don't even know what Clubhouse is, you will soon. I can message you about that in the chat as well. but scan this for our link tree to connect with us on socials. All right, so now I'm going to bring up our companies that are going to be presenting today. We have 10 companies that were selected to present today. Their text is a little small here for the descriptions, but you're going to get to hear about them now. As I mentioned before, these are companies from all across the Asia Pacific region. We've got companies today from Australia, Singapore, Korea, New Zealand, Malaysia. We have one even from Switzerland, Japan as well. So you're going to get a nice diversity of companies and a nice diversity of geographies presenting today. All of these companies were selected because we thought, and our partners thought, they would be a good fit for potentially for this program. And so now we want to learn a little more about you. So I'm going to bring them up, each company in order. I'll call on the presenter. And if you would go ahead and when I'm sharing your slides, so all you have to do is speak and just give us your 1-minute presentation. You look in the upper right-hand corner and the timer might be in different places depending on your slides layout. You'll see a countdown clock. So I just asked the presenter, please pay attention to the countdown clock so that we can make sure that we get a chance to move on and stay on time. So if you get it to down to the 0 and you see time's up, please wrap up your pitch. So we'll go ahead and we're going to have our first presentation from Orlais.
Hi, my name's Mark Bullivant. I'm from Cosmo Aesthetics. We're a JLabs Shanghai company, and our goal is improving lives through at-home treatment care for different types of diseases and conditions. We've designed the Orlais technology by a team in Australia and Canada to treat oral mucositis using photobiomodulation therapy. Oral mucositis represents a $470 million market opportunity with a 4.2% CAGR. Over 50% of patients with cancer treated with radiotherapy or chemo get moderate to severe oral mucositis, and that patient population is growing between 11 to 15%. Orlais delivers photobiomodulation therapy directly to the affected tissue. It improves the healing time, it reduces inflammation, and provides increased blood circulation. Cosmo Aesthetics has developed an alpha prototype, and we need about $750,000 US to completely bring this to market. We look forward to the rest of the sessions and look forward to helping you learn more about Cosmo Aesthetics.
Thank you. I'm looking to hear more about Cosmo Aesthetics as well. So thank you very much. All right, next up, we have Connex. So if you want to go ahead and give us your 1 minute.
Yeah, hi, I'm Abhishek from Kinexus. Kinexus is a data-driven health wearables company enabling and empowering people for mobility and a better life. In one line, we are basically a tool that will help both patients and surgeons to see the value. I mean, surgeons already see a value in total knee replacement surgery, but really to the patients to see the value in having a total knee replacement surgery and what it can do for their lives. And we do this using our wearable device. And currently, up to 83% of patients who are offered a total knee replacement surgery delay it by more than 2 years. That leads to complications later in life and reduced outcomes. So we build the trust and the confidence in a patient to actually choose to go for a surgery, and for the surgeons to convert more number of patients who are eligible for getting a total knee replacement surgery done, have the trust and confidence in getting one. And we do this using our data platform and our gamification engine. Thank you. Paul, you're muted. You're muted.
Sorry, thank you very much. Great job. Looking forward to hearing more about your technology at Conexus. Thank you. All right, next up, we have Medieval Bio. So Bosun.
Yeah. Hello, Medieval Bio aim to further grow as a specialized non-face-to-face diagnostics player that provide competitive smart healthcare system to help manage personal health quickly, easily, and accurately. Our first item, Wayview, is a mobile-based multispectral imaging analysis system. It is composed of 3 parts. First, there is the compact multispectral imaging acquisition device equipped with a new concept optic system. This comes in 2 types, mobile attachable and standalone. Second, mobile application with intuitive UI UX to display and transfer result and data. Finally, a sophisticated server with accurate AI diagnostic algorithm to analyze and predict tissue condition and disease. Try our harmonious system to experience better quality of life in just 10 seconds. We are Medibel Bio helping people to lead a better life with smart things that can be used whenever, wherever, and by whoever. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, we're looking forward to meeting you and Dr. Jones after this. Thank you. All right, next up, we're going to have MyoVolt. Steve.
Hi, I'm Dr. Diane Jones from MyoVolt in New Zealand. Our product is a wearable therapeutic garment for mobility rehab. With an aging population and an increase in chronic diseases, more and more people are living with functional decline and impaired mobility, and millions of people worldwide need regular physiotherapy to retain function and stay independent. So there's a huge unmet need for rehab services. One solution is to develop affordable use-at-home assistive technologies. And our innovation is a wearable electronic garment that's worn on the arms or legs to administer focal vibration therapy. Treatment is delivered by a network of vibration actuators to promote localized circulation, stimulate nerves, increase sensation, and relieve pain. A digital platform allows a therapist to issue a prescription so the device can deliver treatment in the home. This product is drug-free, non-invasive, easy to self-apply, and safe for daily use. And our business model is to sell direct to physical therapy clinics targeting the US for market entry.
Dr. Jones, looking forward to learning more about MyoVolt after this. All right, next up, we have Nidium Technology. So that's Asif.
Hello, hi, my name is Asif. I'm from Nidium Technology. Actually, we have developed the world's first porous nickel titanium dental implant. With the porous structure, the surrounding tissue can grow inside the implant, therefore increasing the osseointegration process and also incorporation. And we also have completed all the preclinical trials. And our implants not only have the built-in porous structure, but also using the state-of-the-art manufacturing method, we are able to reduce the production cost to more than 60% compared to the conventional dental implant production. And so within 4 years from now, we are going to revolutionize the entire implant industry. And we are looking forward to participate in this event. And thank you.
Thank you. All right, good job on the time too. Thank you very much, Asif. All right, next up, we have
Hello, can you hear me? Hey, good morning, everyone. My name is Viet, co-founder and CEO of Housekeeping. Let me share with you a common problem of skin and healthcare industry. Our body natural barrier prevent absorption of external substances, including nutrients, active, and drugs. Due to this barrier, more than 90% drugs have poor absorption to skin, intestine, nasal, and ocular routes. In 2019, cosmeceutical and pharmaceutical industry has spent $100 billion to solve the efficacy problem. Numismatic novel drug delivery system, MycoB, with spy of control depth, can solve the problem. And due to MycoB, with spy of can solve the problem in a very simple way. Just mix MycoB with any formula you have, including serum, cream, and use as normal, and enjoy up to 10 times faster delivery rate and 100 times higher delivery amount and 10 times lower drug amount needed. No other tricks. Thanks for your listening.
Thank you. Great job. Looking forward to hearing more about Numismatics. All right. Next up, we have PB&B with Anthony presenting.
Yes, thank you. Anthony Aho, CEO and co-founder of PB&B. So just in one sentence, we created an injection which can increase the volume of fat. And well, why is that interesting? Well, you see, fat is the ideal material for a plastic surgeon to remodel the face and the body. So this is a platform technology. And then the question was, what is the quickest pathway to market? And this is how we ended up focusing on facial aging. And you can see the root cause of the problem right here. In blue, that is your fat. And as the face ages, these tissue will lose volume, causing facial sagging and wrinkles to appear. It's typically treated with fillers like hyaluronic acid, which they inject to replace this volume loss in fat. Now, PB&B is the first company that's created technology that can specifically target the fat in a very precise fashion to revolumize it and reverse this facial aging process. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll give you my address and you can send me some of that afterwards. All right. Next up, we have Plimes, who's back again. We were really excited to see Plimes once before, and we're looking forward to the update today. So Tomoko.
Thank you for that introduction, Paul. Eating keeps us alive, but each year, hundreds of thousands of elderly, especially the stroke patients in the world, are dying from aspiration pneumonia. Million more requires mealtime care. I'm Dushanta, a co-founder of Plimes, a University of Tsukuba spin-off. And at Plimes, we developed Gokuri, an AI-powered comprehensive wearable point-of-care solution for monitoring the whole process of swallowing for managing the aspiration pneumonia risk. Our medical systems are more suitable for acute care, but for rapidly aging society with the shrinking workforce we are living in, the seniors will need to take care of the seniors, and the focus need to shift to point-of-care chronic management. Most of the stroke, Parkinson, dementia, and other patients with neurological disorders ultimately die due to aspiration pneumonia. As dysphagia can develop progressively with time, daily monitoring is the key to save lives. For the first time in the world, Gokuri quantifies swallowing, enabling the clinicians to objectively decide the next step in care. Thank you.
Thanks, Dushantha. Really looking forward to getting more details in the breakouts. All right, next up, we have UFit Dental Implants with Yunmi presenting.
Hello, I'm Yunmi, the International Sales Director of UFit Implant. Implant failure matters. It matters to us. We have several solutions to help loosening, fracture, infection during and after implant surgery. We developed ideas and have know-how for the last 20 years. One of our solution products is Silbutment. This patented technology maximizes sealing effects to prevent implant failure. To prevent infection during the surgery, we have disposable surgical drills. We solve the high price problem of surgical drills by technology development. We have management as well as the production department, and now we are looking for investment to help us to expand sales for the future growth. Thank you.
Thank you. And great technology. All right. Next we have Wells Meditech.
Hello, my name is Ashley Kang. I'm the CEO of Wells Meditech. We are dedicating to innovate the accelerated orthodontic medical device, which can be used at home for the effective tooth movement. It just takes 10 minutes daily for the ultrasound and LED applied to the device to lose the pain and discomfort during the whole orthodontic treatment period and improve the clinical result. And the patient doesn't need to visit dental clinic 2 to 3 times per month if they download our application solution coupled with our device. And family dentists will check and analyze the patient's daily use data, and they're gonna provide the dental consult through the app once a week. So we can say that with fewer visits and more care and better result. Thank you.
Thank you. Those sound like great advantages. Looking forward to hearing more. All right, so those are our 10 startups that are going to be presenting today. Startups, if you're here, you have the opportunity to network during some of our breaks with each other. There'll be some breaks for you in particular. But for the judges, you guys are going to be in 4 sessions back to back where you're going to have a chance to meet with these companies. For those of you who haven't judged with us before, let me give you a very quick orientation on how the judging works. Today, if you have any difficulties with the Kobo form, with our judging form, you can message our team members in the chat and they will help you out with that. So the way it works is you're going to have a form that lists a series of questions and you're going to fill this in over and over again. It's just a single form, even though I'm presenting it as different slides here. The first thing you're going to do, judges, is choose the little button, the little bubble next to the name of the company that is presenting. You click that at the beginning of the pitch, and you might want to put that off to the side on your screen or however you're set up in your particular setup. And then you're going to just basically fill in some information. The first question is, were you aware of the company? If you're aware of the company, just say yes in advance. Otherwise, tell us no. We want to make sure that we're benchmarking, showing you new technologies. Then below that, you'll see your pitch notes. So you can take notes in this field during your pitch. At the end of the event, before we do the judge deliberation, I'm going to email all of our judges your notes. So you don't have to write this down in a separate Word document or on a piece of paper. Take your notes here. We will send them back to you. Only you will see your notes. Nobody else will get that. But the next field where it says feedback, this will go anonymously to the companies. This is really important. What we're trying to do here is give constructive criticism and feedback and praise to all of the companies that are presenting today, whether or not we advance them in our program. So each of them will get a PDF that has scores and that has the feedback that you see here. So the important thing is this is a place that you could say something like, hey, your competition slide was missing a number of competitors. Please make sure to add them to the slide. Or I was very confused about your business model. It'd be great for you to give more detail about that in your presentation. Or you may say, terrific presentation, great job. I have no comments. Whatever you want to tell them, you can tell them in this field and we will send it to the company. It will be anonymous. Nobody will know it's from you. So don't put anything in the feedback unless that identifies yourself, unless you really want to. You could say something like, hey, I'm putting my contact information here because I really want you to reach out to me, and we will still send that. Below that, you'll see some ratings questions. We want you to rate the technology as being either transformational, which means it's going to have a huge impact on how patients are cared for and on the ecosystem, or incremental, meaning it's a step up in terms of technology and care, but it's not transformational perhaps. And then lastly, Me Too just means it's really no better or worse than everything else that's out there. Certainly no better than what else is out there. And that's okay. We occasionally will have a Me Too technology in MedTech Innovator as long as there's some other factors that make us excited about it. Next are the overall likelihood of success measures. So we want to know, how likely is this company to be successful? In your opinion, obviously, as a judge. So you may not know everything about the company and everything about reimbursement and all that. That's just fine. We just want to have a general sense from you. Do you think this company is very strong in terms of its likelihood of success? If so, give it a 9 or an 8. If you think that, boy, they really don't have a shot, give them a 2 or a 3, or somewhere in between. I've never really seen very many 2s and 3s in these events because all the companies we're selecting were selected out of, as I said, 500 applicants, which means they're probably 5 or better, but you never know. Next, in that next section, factors in likelihood of success on a scale of 1 to 5, 1 being weak, 5 being strong. We want to know about the value to the patient. Sometimes there's a technology that's more enterprise in nature and it isn't patient specific. That's okay. You can say, well, there's not a lot of direct value to the patient. That's fine. That doesn't mean we're not going to accept them. Technical feasibility. If the company's on the market already, it's pretty feasible. If it seems in general like it's pretty feasible based on your discussion with the company, give it a high rating there, 5, 4. Strength of the team, not just the presenter, but the overall team. So judges, you have an opportunity to ask questions about the team. Tell us about your key opinion leaders. Tell us about your advisors. Tell us about your team members. What's their background like? You can tell us then how strong you think the team is in terms of being able to execute on this technology. The overall business model, health economics, we want to know, do you think this product is going to be paid for? Do you think people are going to accept the business model? If they do, give it a stronger recommendation. And then the likelihood of funding, I like to say, would you write a check for this technology? That's what we're after here. Do you think this company is fundable by someone? Next, we have 4 text fields in total. 1 is on risks. So we want to know, what are some of the concerns that you've identified about this company? Things like the cost of goods. Maybe they don't have appropriate experience to bring this product to market. Just let us know some of the risks. Highlights. You don't need to write paragraphs here. This is just for our internal use and for the deliberation discussion later. Execution. What's attractive about the company? What are some of the key things that you are really excited about when you look at the company in your discussion? Or just generally what you know about the company, perhaps from the background report that we gave to the judges in advance. Validation. This is where we want to know, what are some things the company has done to validate their particular business model, the market need, etc. We want to know, and in the conversation that you have in these feedback sessions, if you ask them about, or either observe in their slides or ask them about their validation, give us some little nuggets here. We want to know, again, how well does the company understand the need? How well have they validated that from other people? Next, we have suggested resources. This is a place just to take some quick notes on things that you think MedTech Innovator could do to help this company. It would be helpful, judges, when you're in your judging breakout, if none of the other judges ask this question, I ask you, judges, to ask the question. We want to know what this company needs. What are some of the things that are keeping this company up at night? You know, that's something that we really want to know about. So please ask the judges, judges ask the startups something that they think they need help with. Could be strategic guidance, could be market access, could be it could be reimbursement, it could be regulatory. What are things that they think they need help with that would be a benefit for us in terms of being able to help them? And then lastly, there's a question that says, if advanced in our diligence process, would you be interested in a follow-up call? What that means, startups and judges, is that when we move along after this event, we're going to have a discussion with the judges. We're going to ask them which of the companies they were most interested in, which ones they think would be most likely to be a fit for this program. And then we're going to assign some of those judges to do follow-up later. If you say yes here, it doesn't mean you're necessarily going to have to be part of that feedback or that process. It just means that you're asking or you're raising your hand to say, hey, I kind of like this company. And if you do advance them, I'd be happy to have a call with them. So we will follow up with you if we need your help for those calls. There's an additional comments form if you want to put some extra comments there. That's up to you. And then you can either submit the form if you're finished at the end of the round during the break, whenever you finish typing in all these questions, or you can hit save draft. And that will put this little form up in the corner of your browser. It caches it locally in your browser. And what that means is that if you were to quit your browser, you're going to lose all of your saved forms if you haven't submitted them. So please keep your browser open. You can go back into the corner, click the little number. If you have one saved form, it'll say 1. If you have 2 saved drafts, it'll say 2. Click that number, it'll expand. You can click the company, and then you can finish filling in your information. We just need you to finish these before we have the judge deliberation, if at all possible, so that we can put these up on the screen for us all to discuss privately, and obviously not with the companies. Submit them when you're finished. So that's it. That's the basic overview on what we're going to be doing. Now we're going to have our pitch session coming up. The pitch session, as I mentioned, these are closed sessions. So if you've been joining us on YouTube, you're not going to have a chance, unfortunately, to be part of this next portion of our program. If you really want to be a judge and be part of MedTech Innovators program, you're welcome to reach out to our team. You can email apac support@medtechinnovator.org and tell us that you'd like to be part of our judging panels, and we'll let you know if you're accepted later. But for those of you on YouTube, we really appreciate you joining us today. And I hope you got a chance to see some companies that were interesting in that 1-minute lightning round. For all of our other judges who are staying on, and for the startups, you're now going to be in 4 different pitch sessions. Startups, you're going to have 2 breaks. So you'll have 2 sessions where you're going to be meeting with the judges for feedback and evaluators. I'll be meeting with companies as well. Or you're going to be in a break room. If you're in the break room, this is an opportunity to network with the other startups. And we chose you guys for a reason. You know, you're all in certain categories. You're all leaders in your particular sectors, and you're companies that I think could really help each other. So even if we don't choose you to advance in our program, now you're going to have a chance to network with some other high-performing startups from other regions, or perhaps even from your region. You might even find somebody that you know, or maybe that could partner with you at some point down the road. Either way, being a startup is a difficult journey, and no one understands it better than other startups. So I encourage you to use the break to network with the other startups, and then we'll bring you back for the main sessions. So in between each round, we're going to have about a 5-minute break. And that's an opportunity to either take a real break and actually, you know, take care of a bio break or anything else you need to do. And then you'll go back into the next pitching round. So startups, again, if you're in those break rooms, please make sure that you take the time to network with each other, but don't leave because we need you for the next pitch round. So again, for the live stream, if you are here on YouTube, this is saying goodbye. And for our judges and our startups, we are now going to enter the pitch rounds, the first pitch round. And then we'll be back here for a break in 20 minutes. And I'll introduce some of the other people who are part of this program. So that's it. Just